So today I am discussing about the second part of a hydride reaction with hydrogen or hydride of group number 16. In my last video you have seen that I have shown the reaction with hydrogen and I have explained H2O, H2S. Okay, we have seen certain acidic property and we discussed very in short due to the time inconveniency. So today we are going to discuss about the further detail about the hydride of group number 16. These 4 points I have written, and these 4 points are very important because from these questions will come. Okay. One more point I have to write down. I will explain this. Don't worry about it. Okay. So see, first point is H2O is a liquid. Yes or no? So as we know in group number 16 we have hydride of group number 16. So first element is H2, oxygen means H2O hydride. Then I have H2S, or I will write down here. I was having H2O, I was having H2S, H2SE, H2TE. Clear? So first point is H2O is liquid. See, here this H2O is a liquid because remembering when you was in the phone H, yes or no? Phone H means what? These are the element, if fluorine or hydrogen, oxygen or hydrogen, nitrogen and hydrogen, if these are the element between the hydrogen and these elements which they can undergo the hydrogen bonding. So here see H2O means here there is O and H. So this is one shortcut. Whenever you see the element phone with H like fluorine with hydrogen, oxygen with hydrogen or nitrogen with hydrogen means there hydrogen bonding is possible, and when hydrogen bonding is possible association will be possible, and association possible means the substance will exist in a liquid in state. So hydrogen is a water or hydrogen is a liquid. Why? Because in hydrogen there is a excessive hydrogen bonding between O and H. Okay. So due to the excessive hydrogen bonding in water, H2O exists as a liquid, whereas other exists as a gas or solid because of absence of hydrogen bonding. So first point is H2O is a liquid due to excessive H bonding, whereas H2S is a gas due to absence of H bonding. Clear this portion? First point is clear. See, next point. As we move downside the group, last class also I told you, as we move downside the group, the size of the M increases, that is oxygen to sulfur, selenium, the size increases, but hydrogen size remains same. When hydrogen size remains same, so MH bond becomes weak. When MH bond becomes weak, so as we move downside the group, its strength decreases. Clear? So moving downside the group, MH bond becomes strength and removal of hydrogen becomes easy because the MH bond becomes weak. When MH bond becoming weak, so removal of hydrogen becomes easy. When removal of hydrogen becomes easy means as you move downside the group, so if I want to remove hydrogen from water, I have to heat it at a very high temperature. But if I want to remove the hydrogen from this TE, I have to not heat the temperature as temperature I am supplying for water. Means here the removal of hydrogen becomes easy, but here the removal of hydrogen does not easy. Means here thermal stability is less, whereas thermal stability here is more. So I can say like thermal stability decreases down the group. Clear this part? So why by thermal stability decreases down the group? Because moving downside the group, as the central atomic size increases, so MH bond becomes weak. When MH bond becomes weak, the removal of hydrogen becomes easy, hence the thermal stability decreases. Okay, as moving downside the group, the removal of hydrogen becomes easy. When removal of hydrogen becomes easy, means more and more acidic character will be also there. So moving downside the group, acidic character increases and reducing power also decreases. Yes or no? Acidic character increases, acidic character increases. Why? Because moving downside the group, as I move downside the group, the removal of hydrogen becomes easy. When the removal of hydrogen becomes easy, I can remove easily hydrogen, means acidic character increases, and removal of hydrogen means what? Reducing power. Yes or no? So reducing power also increases. Next, H2O is neutral. Water is, this point is very important. This point is very important. Here H2O is only neutral and non-poisonous. H2O is neutral, neither acidic nor basic, whereas these all are acidic. H2O is a neutral and H2O is also a non-poisonous, whereas other are highly poisonous and the toxicity increases down the group. As we move downside the group, more and more poisonous you will get the compound. Means H2S is poisonous, so H2SE is more poisonous than H2S. Similarly, H2TE is more poisonous than H2SE. So last point is very important, that H2O is a neutral. This word indicate neutral means neither water is acidic nor water is basic. Okay, so H2O is neutral means it is neither acidic nor it is basic. Okay, so H2O is neutral and it is non-poisonous, whereas H2S, H2SE, H2TE is poisonous. Okay, whereas other hydride are acidic and poisonous, and the toxicity increases down the group. Okay, and the toxicity increases down the group. So these are the 4 points important. It's very important. First point is water is a H2O is a liquid in state. due to excessive hydrogen bonding between them. Whereas H2S is a gas because there is an absence of hydrogen bonding. And I told you the hydrogen bonding will be between phone H, between F and H, or oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen. These are the elements which can show the hydrogen bonding. Clear this part? Next, moving downside the group, as we move downside the group, central atomic size increases. So due to this reason, MH bond becomes weak. When MH bond becomes weak, their bond strength decreases. Their bond strength decreases, hence removal of hydrogen becomes very easy. Hence hydrogen can be removed easily from this H2 to E than from H2O. So thermal stability also decreases down the group. Next, moving downside the group, acidic character also increases. Why acidic character increases? Because removal of hydrogen becomes easy and reducing power also increases. Water is a neutral and non-poisonous. This is very important. Water is neutral and non-poisonous, whereas other are acidic and poisonous. Water is neutral and non-poisonous, whereas other hydrate like H2S, H2AC, H2TE are poisonous and acidic. And the toxicity increases, means H2AC is more poisonous than H2S and H2TE is more poisonous than H2AC and H2S. So you can write down these points. These points are very important. The next we will go to the preparation of oxygen. So we will see here now preparation of oxygen. So you have to remember this, okay? So we are preparing the oxygen. First we will see the lab method. In lab method, we are preparing by the decomposition of oxygen rich compound like KClO3, KMnO4, K2Cr2O7, or we are doing the electrolysis of water. And this also has come in the chapter hydrogen. By acidifying water, we are putting few drops of acid, so the rate of reaction becomes fast. Clear? Next we are seeing the by thermal decomposition of certain metallic oxide. Then from the decomposition of H2O2, and we are seeing the industrial preparation. And this preparation, industrial preparation, remember I told you nitrogen also. When we are preparing the nitrogen, we have taken the air, then we have liquefied that air, and then we started to slowly heat the air. So as the nitrogen boiling point was less than that of an oxygen, so nitrogen was removed first, leaving behind the oxygen. So this I have done in the chapter nitrogen also. Remembering? Here also I will do, don't worry. Okay. So first we will see the lab method. See. So first is from oxygen rich compound. Okay. So from oxygen rich compound, this is very important. From oxygen rich compound, clear? So first is KClO3. Okay. You take KClO3 and you decompose on heating, but you remember you have one catalyst. That catalyst in the presence of MnO2. Clear? This catalyst is very important. So from oxygen rich compound like KClO3, just you go for the decomposition, you will get KCl plus O2. In this way you can obtain the oxygen gas. So this is the first. Then from KMnO4. So KMnO4, when you heat it, this is also thermal decomposition, but here there is no kind of a catalyst. So you will get here K2MnO4. This product you should remember. There is no way. This product you should remember. K2MnO4 plus MnO2 and plus O2. Clear? This again will come back in DNF block. Okay. This reaction again will come back in DNF block. Again you are taking another compound that is K2Cr2O7. So when you crack this K2Cr2O7 on decomposition of K2Cr2O7, you get K2CrO4, Cr2O3 plus O2 gas. Clear? So these are the certain from certain decomposition of certain oxygen rich compound. So there is from KClO3. These all are decomposition reaction. Why decomposition reaction? A decomposition reaction is a reaction in which two or more products are formed from a single reactant. You can see here each and every place there is a single reactant. Clear this part? So from oxygen rich compound, first oxygen rich compound is KClO3. So on heating KClO3, what do you get? You get KCl plus O2. Clear? KMnO4. So please remember this reaction and products. These two is very important, and it will also again come back in D and F block element. Clear? So when you heat KMnO4, what you will get? You get K2MnO4, MnO2 plus O2. Clear? Similarly K2Cr2, these two reactions are similar. So see, when I am heating KMnO4, I am getting K2MnO4, MnO2 and O2. So when I will hit K2Cr2O7, so I got K2CrO4, but instead of MnO2, Cr2O3. Just you have to remember this Cr2O3. Please don't write down here CrO2 or CrO3. It will come here Cr2O3 plus O2. So these are the certain lab method first. Second is by electrolysis of water. So last class also we have done many attempts, no? See what we are used to do. We are used to take water. We are putting electrolyte here. Here there is H2O. On passing the electric current, what we get? So we are getting H2O. So on passing current, On passing current we get H2, sorry, I'll write down in the bigger handwriting. So we are taking H2O and we are doing what? Current. We are passing what? Electric current. On passing electric current we are getting H2 plus O2. So this is a gas, this is with gas. This will obtain at a cathode and this will obtain as a anode. Remembering? Yes or no? Electrochemistry many times you had, if I take this anode and if I take this cathode, so here what will be liberating? Oxygen, and here what will be liberating? Hydrogen. Clear? So write down. So by electrolysis of water, and you are adding here few drops of sulfuric acid. Okay. So here few drops of H2SO4. Why we are adding here few drops of H2SO4 or few drops of NOH? Either we have to add a few drops of acid or you have to add a few drops of base. The reason is so that the reaction becomes speedy. If you don't add, it is not like that if I don't add the sulfuric acid or if I don't add the base, I will not get oxygen. Yes, I will get. But if I add certain few drops of sulfuric acid or few drops of NOH, the reaction becomes speedy and in a lesser time we get the oxygen. Clear this part? So these are the first preparation laboratory method, either from the oxygen rich compound like KClO3 or the way doing the, or I can write like that also, that from the decomposition of oxygen rich compound like KClO3, KMnO4 and K2Cr2O7. Clear? So KClO3 if you decompose you get KCl plus O2, KMnO4 you decompose you get K2MnO4 MnO2 plus O2, and K2Cr2O7 if you decompose you get K2CrO4 plus Cr2O3 and O2. Clear? By electrolysis of water. Clear this part? Okay. So next we will see this. Write down. Written? Okay. So next write down by the thermal decomposition of certain metallic oxide. So this is very important. Write down. You write down here to one point, you write down please. You write down one point here. Write down one point. On thermally decomposition of certain metallic compound like of silver, mercury or lead, oxygen is obtained. Oxygen is obtained. So first I write down here Ag2O, and you decompose you get Ag plus O2. If you get HgO, if you decompose you get here Hg plus O2. Similarly if I take PbO, and if I heat it, I will get sorry, I will not get PbO here, PbO2 I can get here. Okay, so PbO2 I will get here PbO plus O2, and one more reaction is there Pb3O4. If I take this Pb3O4 and when I decompose I get PbO plus O2. So both the reaction remains same. Write down this. So this is another preparation of an oxygen. Clear? So by decomposition of silver oxide or mercury oxide or lead oxide or lead 2 oxide, I get what? Oxygen. Clear this part? Written? So this is from the thermal decomposition of certain metallic oxide. Next we will go to decomposition of H2O2. This is very important. This is very important. Okay. So you take H2O2 and you heat it. Okay. When you heat it, but here catalyst is required and that catalyst is MnO2. This question has been asked in a board many a time. So which is the catalyst is used in the preparation of an oxygen or decomposition of H2O2. So the MnO2 catalyst is required. So I will get here H2O plus O2. I will get here H2O plus O2. I will not get H2O2. Okay, and most of the students are committing mistake. They are writing H2 plus O2. See here, H2O2. When you heat, you do not get H2 plus O2. No, wrong. It is wrong, okay? Don't write down. H2O2 you will get if H2O is decomposed. But if H2O2 is decomposed, you have to take H2O plus O2. And remember one more thing. Remember, you were used to do in the chapter hydrogen that hydrogen peroxide is placed or it is not put in a glass bottle. It is put in a paraffin wax bottle because it will react with sunlight and get decomposed to form H2 and O2. Remembering in hydrogen chapter we were used to do when the topic of H2O2 was coming. In the hydrogen chapter the H2O2 there was one point that H2O2 is not placed in a clear cut glass bottle. Because if clear glass bottle, if you are putting H2O2, it will react with sunlight and forms H2O and O2. That's due to this reason. H2O2 does not get decomposed. Due to this reason, H2O2 is placed in a paraffin wax bottle. That's why it does not decompose. Okay. So if H2O2 get decomposed, so to get decomposed, you are requiring here one catalyst, and that catalyst is MnO2. So you get here H2O and O2. Please remember, on decomposition of H2O2, H2 plus O2 will not get. You get H2O and O2. Clear? Next is industrial preparation. This is very, very important. See what we are doing in industrial preparation. Please remember. See, first we are taking the air. What we are doing? We are taking the air, and from that air we are removing carbon dioxide and moisture and other gases. So in air we know we have oxygen 78%. Yes or no? So in air what we have? In air we have nearly 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, the remaining carbon dioxide, moisture. Okay, so we are taking the air, and from that air we are removing this carbon dioxide and moisture. Now in the air what it is remaining? Now the air, now it is remaining is 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. So we are doing this air, we are liquefying this air. What we are doing? We are liquefying, means we are taking this air at a low temperature and high pressure. So when you take the air at low temperature and high pressure, the air gets liquefied. When air gets liquefied, we start to slowly heat the liquid air. We start to slowly heat the liquid air. When we start to slowly heat the liquid air, we know that the nitrogen boiling point is nearly 77.2 Kelvin and oxygen is 90.2 Kelvin, I guess. Yes, 90.2 Kelvin, 90.1 Kelvin. Okay. So first what we are doing, we are taking the air and we are removing the moisture and carbon dioxide. Now in air what it is remaining? Now where it is remaining? Nitrogen and oxygen. Okay. So now we are liquefying this air. What we will do? We will liquefy this air, means we will take this air at a low temperature and a high pressure. When you take this air at a low temperature and high pressure, the air gets liquefied, means this nitrogen and oxygen gets liquefied. When nitrogen and oxygen get liquefied, so this liquefied air we are slowly starting heating, means we are doing what? Fractional distillation. We are heating it. When we heat it, so slowly heating will come. So first will come 0 Kelvin, 2 Kelvin, 3 Kelvin, 30 Kelvin. So you tell me which Kelvin will come first? This nitrogen will come first. So as soon as the temperature comes to the 77.2 Kelvin, so this nitrogen will get separate, leaving behind what? Oxygen. So now in the apparatus what will be remaining? Oxygen will be remaining. In this way I have separated nitrogen and oxygen. So in this way I can also prepare the liquid oxygen. Clear? So what we are doing? We are taking the air, we are doing liquefying the air, and after liquefying the air, that liquefied air, we are doing the fractional distillation, means we are heating it. When we heat it, so as we know that nitrogen boiling point is 77.2 Kelvin and oxygen boiling point is 90.1 Kelvin. So whose first boiling point will come? Nitrogen first boiling point will come. So nitrogen will be fractional and will be removed, leaving behind what? Oxygen. Clear? In this way we can take the oxygen. You write down this thing, you write down. Please write down this. Okay, you write down, or once more I will repeat, I will take the air, from that air I will remove the moisture, I will remove the carbon dioxide. Now I have air. In air what I have? I have nitrogen and oxygen. Now I will liquefy that air. Means how to liquefy that air? What I will do? I will take that air at a low temperature and I will apply the high pressure. So air get liquefied. Now that liquefied air I will put in a fractional distillation tower. In fractional distillation tower what will happen? The air, now this liquefied air will starts to get heat. It starts to get heat, slowly temperature will rise. First 0 Kelvin will come, 2 Kelvin, 3 Kelvin. So whose first Kelvin will come? Nitrogen or oxygen? So as nitrogen Kelvin temperature is 77.2 Kelvin boiling point and oxygen is 90.1 Kelvin. So that liquefied air first will come to the 77.2 Kelvin. As that liquefied air comes to the 77.2 Kelvin, so nitrogen will be removed, leaving behind what? Oxygen. So in this way oxygen is separated. Write down this. Industrial production of oxygen Industrial production of oxygen is carried out by using liquid air. Industrial production of oxygen is carried out by using liquid air, First air is made free from oxygen. From carbon dioxide. First air is made free from carbon dioxide. Moisture, dust, etc. Carbon dioxide, dust, etc. And the air is liquefied. This liquid air is subjected to fractional distillation tower. On heating, as the boiling point of nitrogen is less than that of an oxygen, so nitrogen is removed first. leaving behind oxygen. So the nitrogen is removed first, leaving behind oxygen. Clear? You can write down the temperature. Okay, you write down the boiling point here. Clear this part? Okay. So one more, you remember the importance of laboratory method. I forgot to tell you, that is from sodium peroxide. So write down Na2O2, from Na2O2, write down preparation of oxygen from Na2O2. So you take Na2O2 and you heat it, you react with water. When you react with water, you will get NaOH plus O2. This is also very important, somewhere you will come across, means you can write down. So we can also prepare the oxygen from sodium peroxide, that is from Na2O2 plus H2O, so you get NaOH and O2. Please remember this, okay. So these are the certain method preparation of an oxygen. In next class I will go with a physical property and then I will go with a chemical property. Thank you.